Where'd you go? Home team or away team for the accent?
Liverpool.
What was that?
You go Liverpool.
You used to be an actor, didn't you?
You go Liverpool, Brentford.
Okay, yeah, this is good.
Then you go Manchester City, Villa.
Very good.
Nottingham Forest.
Why did Forest come out London?
I've been beaten by my own game.
Surely you can do a Nottingham accent.
They go Nottingham. Sunderland.
Why'd you say it so quietly?
Sunderland. How do they do it? Sunderland.
Are you right?
Sunderland. Oh, you're good.
Might want to fast forward this bit. Hello and welcome to another edition of Who You Got, powered by Betway, the podcast with me, Andy Goldstein. Obviously your favourite. Thanks for all the emails. Why are you laughing?
No, I agree. You're my favourite.
And of course, my favourite, looking delectable. I don't even know what that means. Rory Jennings is here.
Yes, sir. Make sure that you like and subscribe to this. We have a podcast coming for you every single week. So if you would click subscribe, it really does help us out and you won't miss an episode. Loads to get into today.
Yeah, but make sure you do what he says because he knows where you live and you'll hunt them down, right?
Game as well, yeah.
Yeah. Right, there's only one place we can start, sadly. And that's with not your team and not my team winning the Premier League, Arsenal. Should we give them a round of applause or not? No, okay, fine, we won't.
It's painful, isn't it? I mean, they deserve it. They're the best team in the country. The celebrations have been huge. But yeah, it hurts. And it's meant to. This is what they want. This is what they want us to say, isn't it?
What hurt the most? Was it the fact they've won it? Was it the fact that when you look at Man City, you go, okay, they've got a tough trip to Bournemouth. Yeah. But it's like, why didn't it go down to the last day? Why didn't they come away with all 3 points?
It would have been good, wouldn't it, if it had gone to the last day? But look, Arsenal were always going to win it, I think. They have been the best team in the country basically all season. And if you think about what happened since they lost at City, like that was a moment a lot of people, me included, thought that it had gone.
Yeah, because then they were level on points, right?
Yeah, and it was in City's hands as well as Arsenal's. It felt like City would just use that victory over Arsenal to propel them to the title and outscore Arsenal. Arsenal didn't concede a goal from open play since that game. Like, that's huge, isn't it? In terms of their mentality.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you remember Declan Rice on the floor saying that it's not done yet and all that?
Yeah, I do.
We kind of mocked it. A lot of people mocked it.
Yeah.
And look at what they've done. Not conceding a goal from open play since then is what champions are made of.
Yeah. Do you think you have a huge advantage? I remember when Leicester won the Prem, it was them and Spurs for even though Spurs finished third that year, it was them and Spurs for a lot, but Leicester were always playing towards the end of that season before Spurs. Spurs were playing catch-up and Man City were playing catch-up all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a huge advantage that Arsenal had? I mean, look, they could have lost.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Man City goes, okay,
yeah.
now we've got a chance to go top. But do you think you have a huge advantage playing your games first?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Look, Manchester City were in a cup final and the cup final had an impact on the fixture list. So they were playing catch-up. They did have fixture congestion. So yeah, it did have an impact on that. But every single time Man City had it in their own hands, they made a pig's ear of it. Like they had Arsenal in their sights time and time again. And you could see that Arsenal were affected. They could hear the galloping hooves behind them. You could see that they were affected. And then Man City would shoot themselves in the foot. Arsenal have deserved it. That's the bottom line. They got there and they deserved it.
Do you think it's taken all the pressure off them in the Champions League final? Because I know it's like the biggest competition you can win as a club, right? I know that. I know people argue and say the Premier League's bigger, but it's down to opinion. But I sort of feel they've got a free hit now, which is bonkers because it's the Champions League final. But it's like the hard work's been done now.
I agree. It definitely takes the pressure off. Had they lost the league, had City won the league, suddenly the Champions League becomes everything to them. Now, if you'd asked any Arsenal fan at the beginning of the season, you're going to lose the Champions League final, you're going to get knocked out of the FA Cup by Southampton, whatever else, but you will win the Premier League. They would have bitten your hands off.
What will be interesting now is where they go from here.
I'm worried.
Yeah, well, I think I could be worried, right? Because where do they need to improve, right? And I think the obvious answer is out on the left. Yeah. And my favourite player in the world plays out on the left for PSG and Kvaratskhelia, right? Yeah. Now, I don't even know if they could afford him or if he wants to come to the Premier League. But if they added like a Kvaratskhelia to that front line, and I'm not, even though Gyökeres effectively factually in his first season came to Arsenal, everyone was saying they need a striker. They got a striker and he helped them win the league. I still don't think he's enough for them.
No, you're completely correct. Arsenal bought Gyökeres to solve a problem of their front line and he hasn't solved it. I know he scored a lot of goals and I know they've won the league, but Arsenal didn't win the league for 2 years consecutively because they didn't have a centre forward. I don't think Gyökeres has solved that problem. I think that if they can go and get Julian Alvarez, they should.
Yeah.
And I think they probably will. But where I'm worried is Pep Guardiola's not in the league anymore. Jurgen Klopp's not. There's no true brilliant best manager in the league. So I think we now have a conversation, and Arteta, as reigning champion, probably deserves to be seen as the best manager in the league.
Oh, that what? Really?
Well, look, Arteta won't be scared of Xabi Alonso coming to Chelsea.
Unbelievable point you've made.
Is he better than Carrick? I think he's just won the league. You probably have to say yes. Is he better than Xabi Alonso? I think you probably have to say yes. He just won the league in the country. Better than Slot? You think? See how it's going there? Do Arsenal have the best manager in the league? And are they going to retain? Like Arsene Wenger, they're great, right?
Yeah.
He never retained a league title.
No, or won the Champions League.
Or won the Champions League.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta is now in the ascendancy. I feel like they're very strong for next year, and it's a worry.
They're the team to beat, right, for next year. Where, apart from maybe number 9 out on the left, do you think that's it? Where else? Because they're down the middle, like with Zubimendi and Declan, and then they've got Odegaard and Eze.
Yeah, I think you're right about the left. I would say Gyökeres, and perhaps could they bring in another central midfielder? Like, do they need to start thinking about just more power in the midfield? You know, like say for example, their squad is the reason they won the league this year. You know, they were able to cope with the injury to Kai Havertz. They were able to cope with the injury to Odegaard because of the signings of Eze and Gyökeres. But say for example, Declan Rice was missing for a chunk. They don't. I know what I'm saying here is.
Well, Lewis Skelly filled that role brilliantly for a bit, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
But maybe I see what you're saying. Maybe long term is not the answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think that if you're talking, I mean, it's ridiculously early to do a Premier League prediction, but...
Go on, we'll do it. We could do what we want.
Well, how can you not say Arsenal?
You say it now. Are Arsenal going to win the Premier League next season? They've just won it this season.
Yeah. As things stand, you look at it, you look at the other managers in the league, you look at the major threat, like Enzo Maresca at Man City isn't going to terrify Mikel Arteta.
No, Michael Carrick's your man. We'll be back next season.
Xabi Alonso at Chelsea.
We'll talk about that in this podcast, whether or not you're happy with that.
Yeah,
Are you saying now... Because I need a way very cleverly that people don't even realise to end this section.
Go on.
Well, they won't even know that. This is how good I am. Are you saying that for next season, Arsenal are your favourites for the Premier League?
I think I am.
Probably cut there. That's how good I am, just there. Time now for what was going to be one of the longest parts of the podcast, but it's going to be the shortest now. It's score predictions. I know that people often fast forward to this part of the podcast for guidance on maybe where they should be placing bets over the forthcoming weeks. My advice is don't listen to me or Rory. So on the show last week, between us, we had 20 predictions. You know, people say I can count on one hand how many you got. I can count on no fingers how many we both got collectively.
This is a new low.
I still don't believe. I mean, we need a recap. Zero.
We didn't.
That can't be real.
It can't be right, can it? We didn't get one right. Everything we said was wrong between us.
That can't be right.
So basically, if you went one way and I went the other way, it must have been a draw. Like everything we said was wrong.
I just thought we need a third person on our team.
Then
we would always get the right. So we are recruiting. If you'd like to be part of our podcast and you've got any idea about football. So because it was a draw, right? What are you looking at? You're looking at last week's results. You're double checking it.
Just double checking, but it looks correct. Oh, that's appalling.
You got last week's there.
That is appalling.
Leave that there. So because it was a draw, really, really well thought out draw. No one has a forfeit. Good work.
Okay.
But we do have a tiebreaker question.
Okay.
The tiebreaker question is, who's the last person to lift a trophy for Arsenal Football Club? Don't say your answer out loud.
Okay.
Have you got your answer?
Yeah, I think so.
I sort of feel this is a trick question. The last person.
Okay, I've got an answer. It's probably wrong, judging by my form on this show so far.
I think I'm wrong, but I've written down my answer. What have you gone for?
I'm going Aaron Ramsey. Who have you gone for?
I've gone for Sol Campbell.
I'm more right. I'm definitely more right.
None of us right.
I'm definitely more right.
Hold on.
In terms on the scale of right, I'm more right.
No, are we both wrong?
I'm 20 years.
Hold on, we're both wrong. So we've got one more.
Okay, one more guess.
Oh, hold on. I think I've worked it out. I haven't. I was just acting.
Hang on.
Last person to live. Is it a trick question?
Okay, I've got one.
Well, hold on.
I've got one.
Wait, have you really got one?
I've got one. I think. I'm going for...
Wait, no, don't say it yet. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be... Yeah. So that means it's going to be... You've gone for Ramsey because of the FA Cup,
I went for Ramsey. So now I'm going Aubameyang.
I'm going to agree with you. Let's find out. We're both right. Well done, another draw.
What are
There
the
you go,
chances?
Aubameyang.
What are the
So
chances?
well done.
What are the chances of that?
So it's another draw. So no forfeits this week, Rory.
That's appalling. Mate, well
Hit
played.
me. Yeah, good work, man.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Time now to talk about the sticky games this weekend. I mean, there's only two. And that, of course, is West Ham home to Leeds and Spurs at home to Everton.
I'm an Evertonian. As of now,
Yeah.
just look at me as an Evertonian.
I always have, if I'm being brutally honest.
That's
I
what
always have.
That is what I am now.
Yeah. You know what? I was trying to find, there's always a story in football, right? And I was thinking there must be a connection between the Spurs and Everton game and West Ham. And of course, there's an obvious one that jumps off the page in David Moyes.
Moyes, yeah.
Do you think that there's any part of David Moyes that thinks, I'll do my old club a favour? And not that football works like that, and try and beat Spurs a little bit more than I would do anyway.
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I genuinely do. I have no idea. And this is the kind of conversation that I love having. You know, when we're fortunate enough to talk to someone like Darren Bent, you go, would those things have ever played into your mind?
Yeah.
I believe they do. I genuinely do. I think that David Moyes, surely Jared Bowen is texting David Moyes now going, mate, do us a favour. Come on. You can do us a favour.
What would the text tell me the exact text?
I think Jared would go, hi Gaffer, I hope you're up for it on the weekend.
Not
With a
how you
wink.
doing now as a family, just straight in.
No, I think he'd go straight in.
Okay.
Straight, no time
Hi,
for
Gaffer,
pleasantries.
do us a favour the weekend. And how would he end it? What emoji?
Like this,
A
wink.
wink emoji
Yeah.
with the heart.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
And
JB
then
with
David
a
Moyes
kiss?
writes back, and he doesn't. I think David Moyes doesn't bother with
Words.
grammar.
Yeah, I agree
It's
with
just that.
Thumbs up.
I'm on it.
I
I'm
agree
on it,
with you.
Jared.
Yeah.
It's natural, right?
It sounds like you know. Do you know that? For
No,
a fact?
no.
Okay,
I'd love
it sounded
to.
that you did that really well.
I think that's what's happening.
Let's start with the game. I was going to say White Hart Lane. It's still White Hart Lane.
It's still White Lane.
Yeah. What's it called?
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, so they can
Hart
brand
Lane.
it.
It's half of it's in White Hart Lane. Anyway, this is a game that, of course, if Spurs get a draw, it's enough for them to start, because unless West Ham win 42-0, a draw's enough for Spurs.
Yeah, Everton have to go to White Hart Lane and win.
Yeah.
They don't really have anything major in it for themselves.
No.
Apart from professionalism.
What word was that?
Professionalism.
Okay, I thought that's what you said.
Which is going to be quite big on their to-do list, I think.
Yeah.
Finish the season as strong as possible. They've had a good year. Got some excellent players. I think that James Garner's been amazing for them. I really do. Every time I watch him,
Yeah.
I think he's shone. So there's no reason why they can't go to Tottenham and win. Tottenham hate playing there. They feel that, you look at their...
I think they're 17th in the table this year in the Premier League for home games.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. They can't get any
No.
kind of form going. But can they get a draw against Everton? You're inclined to say they could, but it wouldn't be that surprising for Everton to go there and get a victory.
No,
would it?
I think in both games, first goal is so important. If Spurs go 1-0 down, obviously the players will feed off the anxiety of the supporters.
Yeah.
And it's one of those games as well, because everyone's going to be on the earpiece, everyone's going to have their phones out. If Spurs go 1 down and find out that West Ham are 1
if
up,
West Ham
it's
have gone 1 up.
panic stations.
Yeah. And look, I think West Ham will win. Whether that's enough, because this is what this entire weekend's about, isn't
Yeah.
it? You know,
Yeah.
there's so many fixtures all kicking off at the same time, but ultimately it only boils down to 2 games.
Yes, I agree with you, yeah.
The whole thing boils down to 2 games. And I'm pretty sure that West Ham will win.
Okay, well, they have to, right?
Yeah.
The worst thing would be for West Ham if they lose or draw.
And Tottenham lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not
that's-
even draw. Draw's not good enough. But
Yeah.
if they lose and Spurs have lost.
Yes. I think West Ham will get the result against Leeds.
Do you think it'll do anything different? Because the last time out against Newcastle, he played bizarre. I didn't understand why. He played 5 at the back and had who's the striker up front?
Wilson?
Yeah, Callum Wilson up front. Yeah, and I thought that was. I like Callum Wilson. I think he's a great player, but he's been really effective when he's come on as a sub.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a strange setup. Do you think they'll go back to playing the normal way?
I think they just have to do what they're good at. It's a gift, isn't it? They're playing at home against a team with nothing to play for.
Yeah.
A team that have achieved as well. Like Leeds United will feel that they have already succeeded this season simply by not being in the relegation zone or around the relegation zone on the final day of the season is success from their perspective. So West Ham, I think, get the result. It's all going to come down to whether Everton go to White Hart Lane and win, or even try and win. Do you think they go for it?
I just think there's more twists and turns to come. I said Spurs would go down about 8 weeks ago, and I said Chelsea would relegate them, so I got that wrong. But Spurs, it feels like Spurs have had so many opportunities to nick a 3-pointer somewhere, and they just haven't managed to do it. And the fact that it goes down, I genuinely feel like West Ham are odds-on favourites, right?
Yeah.
I genuinely feel it's much closer than that, and it is a flip of a coin because anything can happen on the last day.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think if Spurs go 1 up, they'll win it, and if Spurs go 1-0 down, they'll lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Let me ask you this: what out of there's both sets of visiting supporters, so Leeds and Everton, who do you think that they want to go down out of the two? Like, will Leeds fans be thinking, let's beat West Ham and relegate them? Or will they be thinking, if we lose today and Spurs go down, how fun is that?
I think this is what I'd be like. Like, when I'd be in an away end, what I always want to do, regardless of the rivalry, I always want to relegate them. Like, if I go, when I was going...
I mean, that says so much about you.
Yeah. When I was going, always want to relegate them.
Right, okay.
Just
because it's funny.
Yeah, and if you were coming to Stamford Bridge, I always want you to get relegated at Stamford Bridge. I think that, look, if you're a Leeds fan going into that West Ham away end, you'd be buzzing to relegate them, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You would love to relegate.
There's a big rivalry between
them. Yeah, you would love to relegate them. But equally, if you're an Evertonian going down to London for the game at White Hart Lane, and you have the opportunity to relegate them, equally, do you know when you're just in an away end, even when the game doesn't really matter, it matters then, doesn't it? It's like, when I've seen Chelsea playing friendlies.
You're so right.
It matters then.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think both sets of fans will want their teams to win and to relegate. Like, it's a bit historic. Like, if you're an Evertonian, you go down to... You can talk about the day we relegated.
Yeah.
You were there when it happened.
I think, look, Spurs are the bigger team. Fact. And I think as a football fan, you always want bigger teams away from you as much as possible.
Yeah.
So if they can both get Spurs out of the league because they're more of a threat...
Yeah.
I think they'll go for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's go through. I will both give our predictions.
Okay.
And then you can bet on the opposite because we're terrible at predictions. So, Spurs against Everton.
I think Everton win the game 1-0.
Okay. I think Everton win the game 2-1. No. I've got draw in my head.
If they draw, then it's over.
No, I'm going to go Everton 2-1.
I think so. We both think Everton win the game.
Yeah.
Doesn't bode well, does it?
It's so bad.
Doesn't bode well.
But yeah, we should maybe flip it.
Yeah.
And West Ham against Leeds.
I think West
Ham are going to win.
Yeah, West Ham
So we
win.
both think West Ham are staying up.
Yes.
You sure?
I think Everton can go there and get a result. I really do. Tottenham can't get anything going at home.
No, I know.
You can see the players, they shrink at home. The pressure.
But they can't be shrinking on Sunday. They can't.
But they don't have characters, do they? They're not a strong team.
They were bad against your lot.
Terrible. They had an opportunity. All they had to do was get a point at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
When we have nothing to play for, we just lost a cup final.
I know, but you said nothing to play for, but that game is always something to play for.
It is, but you've got to think, fairly recently, Forest turned up, beat us 3-1.
Smashed you.
Burnley got a point at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
It's certainly not a fortress.
No. Okay,
and they were well beaten.
So we both think West Ham are staying up and Spurs are going down.
Yes.
Okay. This might be our last ever podcast.
Who You Got is powered by our friends at Betway. Head to Betway and check out their free-to-play game Fixture Frenzy. Up to £25 in free bets to be won every single week.
Time now to talk about the chaos pick from this weekend's fixtures. Tough because only a couple really mean anything, but you've picked out one. You think it's an interesting game to pick between Palace and Arsenal. Why is that?
Because I think Palace win the game. I didn't think this. If Arsenal needed to beat Palace, I think they would have beaten them.
Yeah.
But because they don't, because they're on cloud nine, because they've been celebrating in the week, we saw... Eze, Declan Rice, they were down the Emirates off the back of going to a nightclub at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
They also have Paris Saint-Germain in Budapest to worry about. I think Palace are going to beat them.
Do you think Arsenal will put all the young kids out?
Yeah, it won't be like the second string. It will be... It's not going to be... I don't even think it's Dowman.
I rehearsed this joke earlier on. Do you think it'd be Max Dowman's son playing there?
Potentially.
That was really funny rehearsal.
It would be... I think it will be... as second string as you can possibly
go. No goalkeeper, no back four?
No, I mean, Kepa Arrizabalaga plays.
Okay, right.
It's that level.
Kepa he did his whole name there to impress me.
He's one of those players where I kind of go for it. Some players you just... Like during Timber. I never just go for Timber. It's kind of...
Yeah, there are some players where you have to name their whole name. Yeah. Like Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah. You can't call him... No one has ever said, I think Alexander-Arnold would do well.
Exactly.
Juan Mata, isn't it?
Juan Mata is always Juan Mata.
Is it? Yeah, you can go Mata, yeah.
Juan Mata. I think it could be like the most second string Arsenal team that you could
But Palace are going to rest a lot of players, right? They've got a final.
They are, but Arsenal, this game is so incidental to Arsenal. Like completely incidental. They have won the league. To Palace, it affects something. That Palace also haven't been out celebrating. Palace haven't had that moment of euphoria yet. I just think Palace at home will get the job done because this is an inconvenience to Arsenal. I don't know how this would work, but presumably when Arsenal are training at Hale End now, right now, they're doing their tactics for Paris Saint-Germain.
That's right.
Like, they're not thinking about
No,
it.
this is totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
Totally gets in the way. You're right.
Yeah.
So go on. This will be interesting, this game. What do you think the score will be? Palace against Arsenal?
I think Palace just nick it 1-0. And
You don't think there'll be loads of goals?
No, I think it's just almost one of those games. It'll be one of those games where for everybody, they just need it to pass off without incident.
Like
no
testimonial.
injury. Yeah, like a testimonial.
Yeah.
Just...
You're going 1-0 Palace?
Yeah. Palace will get the 3 points. They're at home. They go off on a high to the Europa final, Conference League final.
Yeah.
And
Arsenal go to...
And Arsenal can then focus on what really matters.
Okay. So biggest waste of time game of the weekend is Crystal Palace B v Arsenal B, yeah?
Yeah.
And you think it will be 1-0?
To Palace.
All right. There you go. Don't bother. If you've got a ticket, don't bother going. Let's talk about this weekend's banker. No, I said banker, even though I am going to talk to Rory Jennings. It has to be, I think, Man City, which looks like it's going to be Pep's last ever game.
Yeah.
Against an Aston Villa side, of course, that have just won in Europe.
Yes.
And for so many reasons, I've just named two, that the Aston Villa players won't be necessarily up for it. They don't need to be. They've got Champions League football. They've just won in Europe. And it's going to be Pep's last game. It can only be a Man City
It can
victory.
only be a Man City win. Like, not only because of the triumphant feeling that Aston Villa already have, but they're in Istanbul.
Yeah.
Like, they're not focused on this game. They haven't been thinking about this game. And Man City are at home. Guardiola's last game. Bernardo Silva's last game.
Yeah, be emotional, right?
Be emotional. They need to go out on a high, and I think that they will win at home because it matters nothing to Villa.
Do you think the structure at Man City is there? We know that, but the manager's so important. We saw it with Fergie, right? Dominated for 25 years, left. The structure at the time was still there, even though David Gill left at the same time, which was mad from Manchester United's perspective to let them both go. But anyway, but Man United just haven't been the same club because Fergie's gone.
Yeah.
Do you think that Pep leaving, that they could implode? Not as much because they've got such a great structure at City, but do you think the years of domination that they had under Pep could be a thing of the
I
past?
don't think they will do what they've done. Guardiola is a one-off. He's a unicorn. He's incomparable to anything, like in the way that Ferguson was.
Yeah.
Like there's a story, isn't there, about I think Fergie's last game. Father says to his son, "Oh, now you're going to find out what it's like to be a real football fan."
I've heard that before.
Yeah, that like
Is that the story end?
Yeah, that's.
I thought they could put some
great
nice music over it.
No, our tune.
Yeah.
But no, like you're going to find out what it's like to be a real football fan now. Fergie's gone. Now you're about to taste what it's really like.
point.
If you're a City fan of a certain age and you've only really known success, you're about to find out. I think you'll still have success, but you're not getting 100 points.
No, but I do feel as though a lot of City fans, certainly the ones I know, are like, it doesn't bother me. We've had our day in the sun. Almost like I was there when we went away at Gillingham.
They're our age.
Yeah.
They're our age. There is a new crop of City fans that firstly only know success.
Yeah.
And secondly are very entitled. Look, if you ever stood on a Kippax, you don't care. You think it'd be
Yes,
like
right.
it'd be like if you know when Chelsea won the FA Cup in '97, if that's all we ever won, I would have taken it at the time.
Yes.
But there is a new breed of Chelsea fans that are very much like greed for silverware because that's all they've known.
Yeah, which is understandable.
It's understandable,
It's not a
yeah.
bad thing.
I don't think, obviously, well, history has taught us. Wenger leaves, they wait 22 years for a title. Ferguson leaves.
We're still 13 years into it.
They haven't won. They haven't won one. I think it's very difficult to follow a legacy manager and succeed.
Arsenal had it for a tiny bit, didn't they? George Graham won the league.
Graham won the league, left.
And then there was a gap, and then Wenger
Bruce
came in.
Rioch, yeah.
Yeah. But it's very rare, you are right.
It's very difficult. And also, following in the footsteps of Guardiola, it's basically impossible, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's basically impossible.
Yeah. It is basically impossible.
And I don't know what City have seen from Enzo Maresca's time at Chelsea where they've decided that he's the right man for the job.
No. I'll tell you what I think would be really interesting with City, now that he's gone, Pep, if he goes, which I think he's gone, is what happens to Phil Foden. Because I sort of feel he's been protected at Man City and loved by Pep. And that relationship, that sort of father-son, that sort of Giggs-Fergie relationship. I just wonder now what happens to players like even Haaland, right? Because all these players weren't just playing for City, they were playing for Pep.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be interesting.
I mean, Phil Foden's a fascinating one, isn't he? Because he hasn't had a good game for 18 months.
No.
I remember going to Germany off the back of him having an outrageously brilliant season. And I was going out to Germany a lot for those Euros. And every time I was going, I was kind of thinking, like, Foden. Like, how do we beat Switzerland, Foden? Like, how are we going to get past the Dutch Foden? And he just didn't ever perform.
No.
He just didn't. And he's had a bad season, by his standards, of course. And when De Bruyne left, you thought, right, this is going to be it for Foden. So, no, I agree. I think that there could be major
Yeah.
Major changes at City. And look, Bernardo Silva's leaving. I think he's one of the best Premier League players of all time.
I agree.
And he's no longer going to be there. So no, this is that kind of tapping.
time.
Well, yeah, it's kind of tapping into what we said before. You know, when we were talking about who's potentially going to win the league, who are the best team in the league, who's the best manager in the league. It's got to the stage now where it is almost it's an open conversation.
Yeah, well, Arsenal got stability now, right?
Arsenal have got stability. They've been building for a long time under Arteta. It's been there a long time. Built a team in his image. Obviously now they are winners. Yeah, it's a very interesting. It's a great time. You know when Klopp got Liverpool to be really good. Really unfortunate for them because of the timing.
Yeah,
because they were amazing, and they could have won 4 leagues in a row, but they couldn't because of Guardiola. Arteta's timed it to perfection.
Yeah, he has.
Found his zenith.
Really cheered me up. Thanks for
Bad news, isn't it? Well, look, you told me Michael Carrick's going to put it right.
Yeah, that might have been in jest. So you think the banker this weekend is City against Aston Villa?
City win.
What would the score be?
Tight, I'll go. Tight. I think City win the game 2-1, 2-0.
Okay. All right, there you go. That's Rory's view, by the way. So any problems, at Rory Jennings. Football season's coming to an end soon.
Sad times.
But there's lots of football stuff going on. That's what I call it, football stuff. Maybe I'll call this part of the show other football stuff.
Other football stuff.
The big news has been Spygate.
It's fascinating. I love it.
Mind blowing. What's your view on everything that's going on?
I mean, firstly, I love it. In terms of like being invested in a story, this one has caught me. I think the right decision has prevailed. Okay. I think it's bent. I think it's cheating. I think Eckhart should hang his head in shame. And
should he be sacked?
Yeah. Probably not sacked because I imagine that it was done...
collectively.
Yeah. I don't... He might have to fall on his sword. He might have to be the guy that gets sacked. But I don't think that it happens in a vacuum. I think that it would have tacit approval, if not explicit approval.
Yeah.
So no.
Oh, it has. Yes, without a doubt. There are other people involved.
There's other people involved.
Yeah.
But I can't believe it. I mean, getting caught as well. Like, just don't, maybe this happens all the time, but don't get caught.
Yeah, don't go next door to the golf club and buy a coffee with your credit card.
It's traceable, you idiot.
Yeah, that's a little bit. I mean, I'm no spy expert.
I mean, maybe we are though, because the spy didn't do this, and we wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Pay in cash.
Just don't go in there.
Just don't go in there.
No.
Paying cash. Paying cash is untraceable, right?
Yeah, paying cash is good advice.
Cash.
What I find, when the story first broke, I was very much of there's no way they should be kicked out. I find that insane. Yeah. Because I think the problem they've got is 8 years, I think it was 8 years ago, when Leeds did something similar, they were fined, $200,000?
Bielsa paid it.
Yeah,
Bielsa
right,
himself.
Pocket, yeah. And what should have happened then is that someone at like the FA or the EFL should have written down in a rule book, if you're caught cheating, you're kicked out of a competition. Yeah. So when it comes back 8 years later, they go, just look at Rule 7, subsection 9. We've already written it down. But the problem they had was having to come up with the answer to the question, do you get kicked out? Yeah. And I just feel that, obviously, in these scenarios, the fans always lose, right? They're the ones I feel sorry for. But also, you look at the players, right? They'll be dreaming of going to Wembley, making a name for themselves. They'll be dreaming of Premier League football, much bigger wages.
No, it's a shambles. The whole thing is a mess.
Yeah.
It's such a mess. You know, it's such a mess for as well. Southampton as a club.
Yeah.
Because...
Have they cheated the fans?
Yeah, they have.
They have cheated the fans, right? I saw an angry Southampton fan on social media today ripping his shirt up, saying, I'm never going to support this club again. Yeah. And I hadn't really thought how deep it could cut with the fans.
Yeah, it's terrible for the fans. I mean, it sounds like he's been a bit drastic and performative, but...
I don't know.
It's bad.
He's found out his wife's cheating on him, right?
He's found out
his wife's cheating on him.
He hasn't.
Yeah, he's been going out with his wife since...
No, I mean...
He has, Raw.
That isn't what's happened there. He's found out that his football club adopts fairly unscrupulous methods.
He's married to his club. It's his wife.
It wouldn't be a secret to any of us, whoever you support, certainly you as a Man United fan, me as a Chelsea fan, our clubs behave in a fairly unscrupulous way. This isn't drastic like that.
Oh, it is.
From a fan's perspective, I don't think it is, but I think it's terrible news for Southampton as a club because when they went down, when you go down from the Premier League, you're ready to bounce back up. You're the incumbent, effectively. Southampton certainly.
Yeah.
Now they've gone down and they're not going to bounce back up. Suddenly West Ham are in the league. Suddenly Tottenham are in the league, whoever it ends up being. Suddenly they've got to deal with...
No.
Burnley are always good.
You're looking at a good angle of this, right?
No, I'm looking at a terrible angle from Southampton because I don't think they come up next year.
I see. It's more difficult to get out. Well,
it's more difficult to get out.
Drops down to 8 places now, doesn't it?
Playoff does, yeah. They get in the playoffs, but that's... they're going to.
I think you're underestimating how badly this is hitting the fans.
What do you think that fan then has made the right call? Do you think he should divorce?
Yeah. They've put all their hard-earned money, right, into supporting that club. They're buying season tickets, they're buying food, they're buying programs, travel, home and away. They're life savings.
Yeah.
They work Monday to Friday so they can afford to go and see this, right? If you put all of that in, and then you have the excitement of making the playoffs and the excitement of getting to Wembley, and then you turn on TalkSport, probably 4 till 7 drive time, and you find out that they've been kicked out of the competition because they've cheated. I mean, I think that's... I can't comprehend how horrific that would feel for that fan.
Yeah, I think it's bad. But then where would you draw the line? So what, the fan...
Do you not think it's cheating then?
No, I do think it's cheating. I think you should be... I think that it's bent and I think you should be kicked out. I think that's the right ending here. But I also think that from a fan's perspective, just get on with it. Like,
no, mate.
So when Leeds got caught, do you think Leeds fans should have not been going into that South stand singing?
They were fine. They got away with it. If Southampton would have got a fine, I think they'll be fine.
Right.
Excuse the double.
Yeah.
But the fact, if Leeds would have been kicked out of the league or kicked out of this or whatever, then I think it would have had the same effect on the Leeds fans. How would you feel if it was Chelsea? If Chelsea got to the final of the Champions League, right, and then you find out that Xabi Alonso was cheating, and they went, "We're going to kick you out, and we're going to replace you with whoever you beat in the semis."
I'd say it was poor. But I certainly wouldn't react like that. I certainly wouldn't not support Chelsea anymore.
But you know how fans are forever. Southampton will be the cheats.
Yeah,
that club, right? Because
where would you draw the line here? Like, would you get the hump when a player of yours dives? That's cheat. Where do you draw the line on how moral you want your football club to be? If a Chelsea player dives in the Champions League final, wins as a penalty,
well, that's why we've got VAR to stop that happening, right?
Okay, if you still con the ref, we see mistakes, I will celebrate
There are different levels of cheating.
Yeah. Look, look, the whole thing is a mess. Southampton haven't done themselves any favours here, and they deserve to be kicked out. But how far do you think it goes that, for example, the manager has got this information from his mate.
Yeah.
Has he said to Harwood Bellis, all their corners are going short, so don't get in the box, go. And Harwood Bellis will go, well, how could you possibly know that?
Right.
He go, well, I know, because, does everybody know that?
Trust me, you would never say to a manager, yeah, I'll defend like that, but how do you know? You'd never, ever say that. Well, you want me to sit deep in the second half? How do you know that? You'd never say that. You go, okay, boss.
I think you could, yeah, maybe. But I also think that if you were being told to do something that didn't necessarily chime with how you've defended all season, because it felt like it was moving in a different direction, as a player, would you be aware as a player that this has happened?
No.
So the only person culpable really are the manager and the manager's team?
Yeah. I can't believe you don't think it's horrific.
No, I do. I think it is horrific, and I think it's bent, and I think it should be kicked out. But the fan who you said was taking his shirt off and effectively divorcing his football club.
It is his wife. You know that, genuinely.
It is his wife.
And his wife's been cheating on him.
Not cheating on him.
Yeah, he's cheated out, but he's not in the final now.
No, cheating, not cheating on him, cheating
on the fan.
Cheating for the furtherance of the football club. Doing his best for the furtherance of the
But that club is his wife.
It's like if you were married to a fella and the fella commits...
I'm married to a fella?
If you're a woman and you're married to a fella and the fella goes out and robs a bank...
Who am I? Am I me?
You're you. Okay, right, other way around. You're you.
Right.
Your wife
cheats
on you effectively by going out and robbing a bank.
Well, happy.
But then she gets caught. She's kind of blown up the family.
She go to prison?
She's blown up the family life. Everything's gone wrong. She's going to prison. But she was doing it for you. Tonda Eckhart was cheating on the fans.
If that happens, right, Mrs. G has not done it for me. It's for her own.
It's for her own ends.
Her own game.
It's for her own ends.
But that's different because they haven't gone out to rob a bank.
No, they've gone out to cheat. They've gone out to amplify their own, to make life better for themselves. That's what they've done. And therefore better for the fans.
I get why that fan has ripped up his shirt.
So what does he do though? He divorces his club. He doesn't support his team anymore. Whatever.
He's been let down.
By Eckhart, maybe.
Been let down by the club. Forever. His club are called the Cheats. The Saints will not be marching
when
on.
When the cheats go marching in.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a fascinating. So do you think the right outcome has
I didn't to begin with, but now I can't see any other outcome that's fair. They cheated, they gained an advantage.
It'd be amazing if Borough come up now.
I mean, that would be insane.
Because Borough have actually had an easier life.
Yeah.
Because Borough didn't know whether they were going to be playing or not, but at least when they were training to play Hull. Hull, when they were training, They knew they were going to be in a final, but they didn't know if they were playing Southampton.
Imagine if
They're training for both of them.
Imagine if Hull had spies watching Southampton train.
That'd be great.
And now all that's gone out the window.
That'd be
I'm not
fantastic.
suggesting they have because I have.
That would be fantastic.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Or we could just open the whole thing up.
Yeah.
Everyone's allowed to just spy on one
Just
another.
spy.
Do you think it's more prevalent than we think? Do
without
you think
doubt,
it goes on way more?
Yeah, of course I do, yeah. Yeah, but they had no security at the ground. You could just walk in and watch them train, which is a little bit nuts. But that leads us beautifully on to that playoff final, which currently, and it's not going to change now, right?
No, can't.
It's going to be between Hull and Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Who's going to be playing Premier League football next season?
Middlesbrough.
I kind of
Just
agree
for the
with
story.
you.
Just for the story.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. I think Middlesbrough are going to do it.
Yeah. Although if we're going to go by
fascinating.
any prediction we've had ever in the history of this podcast, that means Hull will win like 8-0. Yeah.
They make a film on Spygate. Like Michael Sheen plays Steve Gibson or something. I'm watching that.
Oh, yeah, they will make that.
I am watching
Yeah.
that.
I just hope Channel 5 don't make it. It'd be terrible.
Who You Got is powered by our friends at Betway. Head to Betway and check out their free-to-play game Fixture Frenzy. Up to £25 in free bets to be won every single week.
Whilst there's no football on, well, not as much as there has been, we can talk about, we can take a trip down Nostalgic Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that exists, Nostalgic Lane? Come
Yeah,
on.
somewhere.
Do you think so?
There will be a road somewhere in the world.
Well, lane.
A lane.
Do you know the difference between a road and a lane?
No.
I think one of them has got trees in it.
You have to know which one.
I think one of them's got trees in it. A lane's got trees in it.
And a road doesn't.
I don't know, but one of them's got trees in
I
it.
think that's not true.
I don't. Genuinely, one of them has. Anyway, if you're walking down Nostalgic Lane,
Yes.
you'd be walking down like this, going,
Why are there so many trees in?
you do that. I remember when this place had no trees. That's what you'd be doing. But whilst you walk down that lane with me, hand in hand,
Yeah.
skipping, if I were to ask you your favourite Premier League team that is not in the Premier League now, is there one? that
Yeah,
jumps
there's a
off the
couple.
page? Okay, I've got one.
Go on.
But no, you go first.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Okay, what are we talking? Chris Waddle era?
Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday. Chris Bart Williams, Colton Palmer.
Yeah. What's that? Early 90s, right?
Yeah, Sanderson. They're a
Great sponsor.
They're a great club.
Great kit.
Great kit, great club, great history, great name.
Yeah.
I think the Premier League is a better place having Sheffield Wednesday as a Premier League team.
I think I've got the answer to the question. What is the most nostalgic team to not currently be in the Premier League?
Go on.
And when I say it, I think you're just going to nod with a smile. Bolton. Yeah, there's that nod. There's this. When you look at, JJ Koch is the first one.
Yeah.
But Ivan Campo. I mean, that's
That team, that Allardyce team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Djorkaeff.
I mean, that's nuts, right?
Yeah.
Although now we're talking about it, now I'm getting excited. Middlesbrough.
Middlesbrough, absolutely. Queen's Park Rangers. I quite like Queen's Park
Ravanelli.
Rangers in the Premier League. Yeah, Ravanelli, Janino, and all that.
Yeah.
They got to
Emerson,
both cup
do you remember
finals.
Emerson?
They got to both cup finals and got relegated.
Yeah.
Lost both cup finals and got relegated.
Insane.
Yeah.
Who's the one you just said? QPR?
QPR.
What era are you talking?
Like Les Ferdinand, Andy Impey, Andy Sinton.
Yeah.
Andy Sinton, Alan McDonald at the back.
Yeah.
They had a keeper, Jan Steichkow.
Oh, well done. Who was their centre half that went to Russia and then came back?
Chris Samba. Chris Samba. That's when they had all the money. Harry Redknapp went in there.
Yeah.
They went down. That team went down.
Yes.
But no, I think QPR, if you could make like the perfect Premier League, I think Blackburn Rovers would be in it as winners.
Okay. Yeah.
Blackburn, Bolton, Sheffield Wednesday, QPR. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else that we've left off?
Spurs.
And I'll get rid of Brighton.
Did you get rid of? Who are you getting rid of from the Premier League?
Brighton, Bournemouth, Brentford.
Anyone beginning with B?
Anyone
Burnley.
beginning with B.
Burnley are gone.
Yeah.
Hold on. Burnley you get rid of. Brighton you get rid of. Bournemouth you get rid of.
Yeah, no history, no fan culture, no...
Oh, what's wrong with Bournemouth? Lovely part of the world. Down on the coast. You don't like Bournemouth?
No, not as a football entity.
No, but
It's
as a
10,000 fans.
Oh, honestly, these Chelsea boys.
10,000 fans. Get Sheffield Wednesday up. Prestigious stadiums and history.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Bournemouth though. Nice part of the world. No, you're not having it.
Not for me. Not for me.
Stuck up. Typical Chelsea. Right, we can talk now, Rory, about, you probably are unaware of what I dreamt up about 7 years ago, which
Tell me.
amongst my group of friends is a big thing on the last day of the season. It's called the Hollywood Bet. And every single season, on the last day, when everyone kicks off at the same time, we have a bet, only like a fiver or a tenner, but an accumulator where every single team playing in the Premier League will score a goal.
Do you win? Is this... No.
No.
Gonna
And
be
the
doing
odds
it this
are
year?
incredibly high.
Really?
But what's great about it is on the last day of the season, when all the goals are going in, you go, Yeah, like you're playing bingo.
Just ticking them off.
I've got Fulham scored. Okay.
Yeah.
Newcastle, great. Okay. And you just go through it.
Yeah. I like it.
When you look at the fixtures this weekend,
Yeah.
okay, if you're going to pick, let's pick the teams that you don't think will score.
Okay.
Because I'm going for everyone will score.
Okay.
All
I
right?
don't think Arsenal score.
Imagine if you had the Hollywood bet and Arsenal,
let you down. Like, they're not free scorers anyway.
That's a
and
very
now
good
they have
point.
nothing. They have nothing
Who plays
to go
up
for.
top for Arsenal?
This week.
Yeah.
Does Havertz need some minutes? Does he just need some minutes? Like, he could use it as a glamorized training session.
Yeah.
Like, not Gyökeres.
No. I was thinking Eze maybe as a false nine.
Maybe Eze. Just anyone that needs minutes.
Yeah.
And then everybody else will be totally protected.
Okay, you pick three teams that you don't think will score a
Okay.
goal. Arsenal? I'm amazed about that.
Arsenal won't score. Tottenham won't score. And Leeds won't score.
Wow. Okay.
There's 3-0.
I mean, that's huge.
There's
So you think other than that, the whole Hollywood bet...
Other than that, everyone scores a goal. I've got 3 teams that are going to let you down.
Brighton, Manchester United.
2-1 Man United.
Right, should we go through them now? Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Burnley against Wolves.
1-0.
Palace against Arsenal. You don't think Arsenal will score?
1-0 Palace.
Hollywood bet is let down by the Premier
Hollywood
League
bet is let down by the champions.
Fulham, is it Newcastle or Newcastle? Where do you go on that?
Well, we're from London,
Yeah.
so Newcastle.
Okay.
Newcastle. What you don't put on the accent of the place here?
No,
So
I
what
don't.
if like Man United are playing Burnley? Do you do that?
No, I don't. But some people are guilty of saying, like, when they're talking about Griezmann, saying Griezmann, which annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah, and me. But I quite like the idea of doing it kind of provincially around the UK. Yeah.
Let's carry on with that then. So where are we at with that? Fulham against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, 1-0.
Right. Where'd you go? Home team or away team for the accent?
Liverpool.
What was that?
You go Liverpool.
You used to be an actor, didn't you?
You go Liverpool, Brentford.
Okay, yeah, this is good. And you think both teams will score?
Yeah. Then you go Manchester City, Villa.
Very good. This is a new section. Very good. Both were scoring that?
Both will score.
Okay.
Nottingham Forest.
Why did Forest come out London?
Yeah,
it again.
so I was quite happy with how well Nottingham went.
Just
Nottingham Forest.
So it's Forest, just Forest, right? How would that
How do they do it? How do they do it? It's hard, that Midlands.
It's your little section. I'm not.
I'm out. I've been beaten by my own game.
Surely you can do a Nottingham accent.
They go Nottingham.
There you go.
I just can't say Forest. In a
Bournemouth,
Nottingham.
you don't like Bournemouth established.
Bournemouth. Forest win the game 2-1 though.
Okay. A bit Geordie coming up now.
Sunderland.
Why'd you say it so quietly?
Sunderland.
You know we can hear you on this.
Sunderland. How do they do it? Sunderland.
Are you right?
Sunderland. Oh, you're good.
Mate.
Sunderland.
Yeah.
Okay. Sunderland, Chelsea.
Might want to fast forward this bit.
3-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea. So goals galore.
All right.
Tottenham 0.
Bit scouse now.
Everton.
Sorry, what was happening there? What were you
I'm
doing?
like practicing.
Right, okay.
Practicing on the delivery.
You think Everton will score, but Spurs won't?
Everton win 1-0.
And the last one?
West Ham 2. Leeds United 0.
Leeds. That was enough.
Leeds.
That was it. That was enough.
There we go.
Okay.
The
I just want to point out that Rory is available for hire. In case you're wondering.
Very cheap.
Yeah, very cheap. We'll pay you. Look at the time. Sadly, that's all we've got time for. I've really enjoyed this week's
good fun.
Who You Got podcast powered by Betway. I'll go so far as to say it's one of the, if not the best we've ever done.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Now make sure that you stay tuned for some World Cup chat. We've got loads and loads coming up, and there is 20 days or so to go until the World Cup starts. So make sure that you click subscribe right now so that you do not miss an episode.
Yeah, you got to say goodbye now.
Oh, goodbye. Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't
and wave
say-
as well.
Right, ta-da.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care. Keep waving. Smile as well. Like the end of Salah of the century. Do you remember that? Before your time.